Hello, Charna Ethier here from Providence Perfume Company. I'm here today to talk about natural perfumes, and I'm actually going to work on a blend for a salon and spa that's seeking sort of a citrus, woody perfume. So I'm going to create a couple of mods for them to try out. So we're gonna spray them during their staff meeting. I've already spoken with them and sort of gotten an idea of what they're looking for and what sort of scents they really like. So we're gonna start today with sort of blending maybe one of the mods that I'll present to them, which is gonna be a citrus perfume with a little bit of fruity notes, but more heavy on the citrus. Okay, so let's start creating our blend. Instead of using plain perfumer's alcohol, I'm going to use a peach alcohol that I created by making a tincture. And that's something that I could talk about for a long time. We'll talk about that another time. So this is sort of a peach scented base that I'm going to use. And I'm going to pour about half an ounce or 15 ml into my beaker. And I think by using this sort of astringent, lightly fruity peach tincture alcohol as the base for my sort of citrus perfume, it's going to give a nice acidity to the base, which will sort of pull through the top, middle, and base notes. And that's one of the things I love about using tinctures for my blends. So what we're gonna do is we always wanna start off with our base notes and build from the base up to the top of the perfume. So for this modification, I've chosen an ambrette seed, an aged patchouli, and a sort of lemony frankincense that I found that I'm very fond of. And I think, again, this will help pull the sort of lemon citrus note throughout the base of the perfume. So as it dries down, we can pull that sort of citrus lemon note throughout all the stages of the perfume. So I'm going to start with my patchouli. And as I mentioned, this is an aged patchouli. And woods such as sandalwood or patchouli, these are great oils to age because they tend to get richer and smoother and deeper, and they actually increase in value as you age them. So we're going to take our aged patchouli, and I'm going to add, I'll say about 12 drops in here. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we're going to add some ambrette seed to the blend. And ambrette seed is a really nice sort of white floral musk scent, which I love. I really, really love ambrette seed. It actually comes from the hibiscus plant. So we're gonna go a little light on this. We don't wanna make it too musky. I'm gonna add about, say, maybe 5 drops. Okay, and now we're going to add our super frankincense from Oman. And this is a really nice lemony frankincense. So let's get this. And I'm gonna add about maybe 10 drops to this. See what I think. So now that I've created my base, I'm going to smell it. You always want to smell as you go along, whether you try it on your skin or use a scent strip to sort of get an idea as you're going along what you think. And that's good. I like that. It's not too woody, not too overpowering, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to move on to the heart notes now, or the middle notes. And I'm going to use jasmine, a little bit of rose, and actually just a drop of Litsea cubiba, which is a really lemony smelling essence. And most customers actually read Litsea cubiba as more lemon than actual lemon. It just sort of smells even more lemony, but it's very powerful, so you have to be careful with it. It's the type of thing where 1 drop too many can completely overpower a perfume. So I'm going to be very careful with this and just add 1 teeny drop. And now I'm going to add a little bit of Rose Absolute. This is one from Morocco. And jasmine and rose are really the backbones of perfume. So let's try, I'm gonna go for maybe 6 drops here. I'm gonna add about 10 drops of Jasmine grandiflorum. And I love jasmine, it's my favorite essence. Let's see here. We'll see how our blend smells now. We also have to keep in mind that our perfume is going to smell different after we age it. And that's one thing that's very important to do with natural perfumes. They need to age. I think it actually needs a little bit more jasmine. I'm gonna do a couple more drops. I always joke that being a natural perfumer is a little bit like being a vintner, in that after 1, 2, 3 more drops maybe, after you create your perfume, you really need to age it, because that miraculous changes can occur, and sometimes not so miraculous changes. But perfumes, after they're aged, smell significantly different, in my opinion, than what they smell like when you first create them. So now that we've added our little bit of extra jasmine, we're going to smell again and see if that's a little bit more what I was looking for. Yes, it's a little sweet right now, but I'm gonna balance that out with the top notes, but that's definitely more of the jasmine note I was looking for. Okay, so now moving on to our top notes. I am going to use a combination of yuzu, petitgrain bigarade, which is sort of a slightly more bitter petitgrain, and a bergamot to create the top notes. Now we have to be a little bit careful when we're using citrus oils because they can photosensitize on the skin or cause irritation, or maybe turn a little brown or off-colored in the sun. So especially this being a commercial perfume for the spa, I want to be careful in my usage of the citrus oils. So I'm going to start out with about maybe 6 drops of yuzu. And yuzu is sort of a fruity citrus aroma for those of you who aren't familiar with the yuzu fruit. So let's try. It smells a little bit like grapefruit and bergamot maybe mixed together. And now I'm going to add some of my petitgrain. And petitgrain comes from the bark and leaves, and sometimes if it's petitgrain sur fleur, means, excuse my wonderful French accent, means it actually has some of the orange tree blossoms in it. So let's try. Okay, so now we're going to smell this just before we add the bergamot to it and see how we're doing. Okay, that's good, I like it. Okay, so let's add our bergamot, and this is a bergaptine-free bergamot, which is better as we talk about sensitivity and photosensitivity. So this will be a little bit safer to use. It costs just a little bit more than regular bergamot, but some of the sensitizers have been removed. Okay, so let's see here. And I'm gonna add about maybe 10 or 11 drops of bergamot. Let's try our final product here and see what we think. Okay, it's good. We'll see how it is in a couple of weeks when I check on it again, but for now it seems good. I might want to add a little bit more top note to it, but it's a nice, zesty, fresh, sort of unisex scent, which is what the client was looking for. So I'm going to pour this now into just a little vial, and I would label this, and of course normally I would be recording my whole recipe here as well in a notebook. So I'm going to label this with the scent and the date, and I'm going to come back and revisit it in a couple of weeks and see how it is and send it off to the client. Thanks for joining me here in Providence, Rhode Island. Signing off, Charna Ethier, Providence Perfume Company. Bye.